This video is a tutorial about GoodNotes version 5. GoodNotes is a note-taking app, a bit like Microsoft OneNote, which I covered recently, as well as Notability, which I will probably cover in a video later on. If you find this video useful, please consider giving it a thumbs up, as well as subscribing. At the end of this video, there will be some information about my Patreon if you want to provide even more support. So when you open up GoodNotes, this is the screen that you will see. So on this section here, we can see our different notebooks that we have so far, and we can open those up or create a new notebook, which I'll show you that in just a moment. And then along the bottom, we can see these tabs here. So documents is what we have open already. The search function allows you to search through any of the notebooks that you've created. It doesn't just search for the title of a notebook, but the content within. And it doesn't just recognize text that you've typed in, but it also has handwriting recognition. So if you've written down a particular word and you want to search for it, it will be able to find it. The next tab along is called Shared. If we have notebooks that we've shared or we're collaborating with other people, those will appear here. And then this is the Favorites tab, which essentially creates shortcuts to particular documents or particular pages within a notebook. And later on, I'll show you how to save particular pages or parts of a document as a favorite. So you'll be able to access all of this here. In the top right hand corner, we have this little settings wheel. We're going to tap on this. And the first option is called Notebook Templates. This allows us to select a default for whenever we want to create a new notebook. What should it look like? What size should it be? So if I tap on this blue cover here, I've got lots of different covers to choose from. And the default style of notebook isn't something you have to have for everyone. It's just what is selected by default when you press New. So I'm going to choose this one called Good. Then I'm going to tap on this page here, which lets us choose the type of paper we want. And again, you don't have to have the same one each time, and you can have lots of different page types within a notebook. And I'll show you that in a little while as well. So I've got lots of different things to choose from. I've got squared paper, lined paper, I've got grids. Down at the bottom, I've got things like guitar tab and sheet music. And what you can also do is you can import your own templates. Lots of places sell templates that you can buy and import into GoodNotes. And to do that, we can just tap on import, and then it'll open up the Files app, and then you can import your template from there. We also have two drop-down menus here, which act a bit like filters. So if I tap on the first one, I can choose the default size of my notebook. This is particularly useful if you think you're going to be printing your notes out. You can choose the correct paper size for your printer. You can also choose the standard color, so you can choose between dark, yellow, or white. And then finally, you can choose an orientation for your book, whether that's portrait or landscape. Back under this settings menu, we have an option called Settings. Handwriting recognition allows us to choose the default language that we're going to be writing in. There's quite a lot to choose from. Document editing allows us to choose what's visible on the screen as we're working. Whether we want to see the status bar, we want to see page numbers, we can choose the scrolling direction, whether we want to scroll vertically or horizontally. And there's a few other options here as well. Under Stylus and palm rejection, we're able to choose what kind of stylus we'll be using inside our notebook, whether that's the Apple Pencil or if we're not going to be using a stylus at all. You can choose the sensitivity of palm rejection, and you can also choose the posture that you use when you're writing. And you can see there's lots of different options, and you can choose which one that best suits you. Another thing I'd like to show you is something called Email to GoodNotes. If you receive emails that have PDF attachments, you can forward those emails and they will appear in your notebooks here. What you need to do is accept their privacy policy and enable it. Then down here, an email address will be generated that you can use to forward those emails on, and your PDF attachments will appear in your notebooks inside GoodNotes. And then finally, we have some backup settings. We can choose whether we want automatic backup to be turned on. And we can also choose to back it up right now. So I have a couple of notebooks here already, and if I want to manage them, I can simply go to the top right corner and enable Select View. And now I can tap on one or multiple notebooks and make some decisions about what I want to do. For example, I could export these. I could create a duplicate. I could move it if I have a folder system within GoodNotes, and I'll show you how to create a folder in just a second. Or I can move it to the trash. Now, I've only got 2 notebooks here, but if you have lots and lots of them, we have these options which shows you how they're going to be arranged on this screen. At the moment, they're arranged by date, which is the newest ones will be at the top and the oldest ones will be at the end. I can arrange by name or by a type. If I click on New, it brings up a menu, and I can choose to create a new notebook like what I've got already. I can create a new folder. I can bring in images or scan documents. I can take a photo. I can import something, or I can use something called QuickNote. QuickNote is something that I'm going to show you at the end of this video. For now, I'm going to create a folder. Now that I've created my folder, I can create notebooks from within this folder, or I can move existing notebooks into it. I can click, hold and drag to import it, or I can go to my selection tool at the top, click on the folder or folders I want to move, and then choose Move, and choose the folder that I want to move them to. Let's now create a new notebook. I'm going to tap on New and choose Notebook. Now it brings up all of the default options that I had before, and just like I said before, you can actually change the cover and the page style inside. I'm going to keep it at the defaults that I've already chosen. So now I have to give this notebook a title, and then I'm going to choose Create. And this is my new notebook. There are 2 main sections to this interface. We have our main page, which takes up the majority of the window. Then at the top, we have our menu items, including some in the blue area at the top. If I want to hide this menu, I have an option over here. At the top right, the second icon in, if I tap on that, the menu's hidden. Now all I have now is my notebook. On our menu, we have different pen tools. I have a pen, an eraser, and a highlighter. I'm going to choose the pen as my first option. And using my Apple Pencil, I can draw on the screen. Now, writing on this page is going to be quite difficult because the lines are quite narrow. So what I can do 2 things. I can make use of pinch to zoom by placing 2 fingers on the screen and separating them to zoom into the page. Or there's another method which allows me to zoom in but also see an overview of the whole page at the same time. To the left of my pencil tool, I have this zoom function. If I tap on that, it gives me a zoomed in view at the bottom of the screen. Now we can see on our page itself there is a blue box, which is basically the currently highlighted area. If I tap and drag it, I can actually move it to where I want it to go, which is going to be in the top left part of the screen. And now I can actually do my writing in the bottom panel, and it should be a lot easier to see. Now at the moment, I've run out of screen space, but you'll notice on the left there's a blue panel has appeared. So instead of writing on the right, if I continue writing on the left, and again I can move to the left, Within this panel, there are a few extra options. So if we move to the left, we can see these indents, which allows me to create a margin on the page, which means that I won't start writing in this left column here. I also have these navigational tools. The first one allows me to move to the left, and you can see on the top part of the screen, this blue preview area box is moving with it. And if I want to go to the next line, the last option is basically like a return key on a keyboard. It moves it to the next line, and I can keep writing. You'll have to excuse my bad handwriting. I'm not resting my palm on it because I have it upright like I would a laptop, so it's a bit difficult to write at the moment, although I can't say my handwriting is much better. Now I'm trying to close this zoomed in panel, and I want to show you how you can change the colour or the thickness of the pen. So if I go to the right hand side of this top menu, you can see I've got 3 default colours. So I've got red, I've got blue, and I have black. You'll notice within these circles I actually have this little arrow, and if I tap on it again I can choose a colour. So these default colours I can actually change. So I'm going to change it to purple. And then the last 3 buttons allows us to change the thickness of the pen. So I have a thin pen, slightly thicker, and then the thickest. The same goes with our next tool, which I'll show you, which is the highlighter, which is the third one along of these pen selections. So a highlighter, pretty obvious. It allows you to highlight specific parts of text. So I can draw over some text to highlight it. And just like before, I can choose from 3 different default colours. So I've got yellow, green, and pink. I can also choose from different pen thicknesses. So I've got thin, medium, and thick. Now I'm going to show you the eraser tool, which can be found in between the 2 pen tools I've just shown you, which is up here. And now I have tapped on that, what I can do is use my Apple Pencil or the stylus to delete what I've been drawing. If I tap on the eraser tool again, a drop-down menu will appear. This gives me the option of clearing the page entirely. I can erase an entire stroke. What that means is, you'll notice when I erase something, it doesn't erase the whole stroke, it only erases whatever I've selected. If I turn on erase entire stroke, when I tap on it, the whole thing disappears, not just the area that I've been drawing. I can also erase the highlighter only, so you can see I've highlighted some text here. If I want to delete what I've highlighted but keep the text underneath, I could turn this option on, and from there I can delete the highlighted bits. I'm going to go back to my pen tool. I'm going to choose the thinnest option here. I'm going to choose black. Okay. Now the next thing I'd like to show you is something called Smart Shapes, which is the next icon along from the highlighter, which can be found over here. And something similar is found in OneNote, and it's also going to be coming to iPad OS 14 as well, which is you'll draw a shape, it will be a bit wobbly, but it will correct it for you. So let me show you. I've got this icon selected. If I draw a circle, my circle looks pretty bad, but when I let go of the pen, it automatically corrects it for me. And it recognises lots of different shapes. And it neatens everything up and makes it look a little bit better. The next icon along is our Lasso selection tool. So when I've got that selected, my pen now becomes something that I can select objects with. I can draw around something to select it. I can then move it around. I can select a bunch of things. and move that around too. And that can be really useful if you need to move a whole chunk of things to somewhere else on the page. Using this selection tool means you can convert handwritten text into text. I'm going to draw around, keep going. Now with that selected, if I tap on it again, have a number of different options. I can resize it and change the colour, cut, copy and delete. But one of them is called convert. And if I tap on that, it converts my handwriting into text. The next icon along allows me to import pictures. If I tap on it once, a small selection of images appears on the menu. So if it's a recent photo I want to use, then I can just drag that inside. Or if I click on the image again, it will bring up the gallery selection. And from there, I can choose a picture to import. With the image selected, I can change the size. And by dragging this corner icon here, I can also change the size, but I can also rotate it. And then I can move it to a different part of the screen. If I want to take a picture, the next icon along allows me to do that. And then the next icon along allows me to insert a text box. So I can tap on that. I can tap an area that I want to type. And then that's there. And then I can click and drag and move it around to wherever I want it to go. If I double tap on a word, it will select it. If I triple tap on a sentence, it will select that. And then you'll notice that my menu has changed at the top. I now have some additional tools. I can quickly make it bold or italicize it, or this last menu item allows me many more options, which includes the alignment of the text size. I can change the typeface, the background color of the text box, the border color, and the size of the border. Next to the text box icon, I have this. This is a laser pointer. So with my Apple Pencil or my Stylus, I can use it to point at the screen and highlight particular things if I'm presenting it over a projector maybe. I've got two options for this. The first one is just a dot. So as I drag my pencil across, you can see the dot. It's a bit more like a traditional laser pen. It's just a single dot, whereas I can turn on to have this kind of light trail behind it, which then eventually disappears after about a second. If at any point along the way I've made a mistake, in the top right corner we have two arrows. This is our undo and redo buttons. I can go back lots of steps. Now if I want to add a second page, there's two ways I can do this. I can either use my finger to swipe along, and you can see as I do that it says pull to add page. If I drag all the way across, it then creates a second page for me. And with my finger, I can swipe from right to left or left to right to go between the different pages. We might, however, want to have some more options when we create a new page. So if I go to the top right corner, you can see a picture of a sheet of paper with a plus icon. If I tap on that, this allows me to add a page. But here are our additional options. This new page can be before the page I've got open at the moment or after, or I can put it as the last page after everything else. So I'm going to keep it as after. Now I can either have the current template, or I can choose something else from this selection here, or I can go to view all templates and I could have something like music manuscript paper. Here is my music manuscript. There are some additional options under this menu, which includes importing or adding an image, scanning a document, taking a photo, or importing something like a PDF. Now I'm going to quickly choose import, and I'm going to import an image. Now this is a screenshot that I took in my last video. You'll notice the orientation of it is a little bit different from the other pages, but this is how it kind of works. So we can import images or PDFs and it'll add it as an additional page inside our notebook. So now I've got several pages, it's getting to the point now where I might need to manage the pages within the notebook. In the top left corner, we can see an icon that consists of 4 squares. These are our thumbnails of the pages in our book. So we have the front cover, the page we created just now, the additional new pages I added. If I tap and hold on a page, I can rearrange it so the pages are in a different order. Next to each page number, you'll see a small arrow. If I tap on that, it brings up a menu. And again, I can add a page before or a page after. I can make a duplicate of the page. I can add it to the page outline, which I'll just show you in a couple of minutes. Or I can export this particular page. In the top right of this window, I can choose Select. This allows me to select multiple pages at the same time. And from there, I can either make a copy, rotate or export them, or put them in the bin. Now in the top right corner of each page, you can see a faint outline of this kind of ribbon, which is a bit like a bookmark. So if I tap on that, you can see it changes colour to red. And this page will now be saved in our favourites. So within the notebook, we can have lots of different pages that we can save as favourites. And they will appear in page order under this menu. The last tab we have at the top is something called Outlines, which is what I talked about before. So this could be, I suppose, like reference points within a book that allows you to skip to a particular section. So it could be the first page of every chapter of your notebook you make as an outline document, so you could see the contents, chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And it allows you to jump to a particular page within the notebook really quickly. In the top right corner, we have 3 dots, and this gives us some more options. Again, we can copy the page, we can rotate the page, just like we could under the thumbnail selection. We can add the page to the outline. We can change the template. So I've already committed to using this lined page, but say I wanted to suddenly have wider lines, I can go to change template and I can choose something else instead. And just like under the erase menu, I can actually clear the page entirely. And the last menu item I want to show you from this particular menu is scrolling direction. Now earlier you saw me scroll from page to page by swiping from left to right, and that's horizontal scrolling direction. I can change it to vertical. So now to change page, I swipe from bottom to top. So this is the order now of my pages. Instead of going from left to right, it's going from top to bottom, which might be preferable. The next item I'd like to show you is something called Search. And that can be found in the top left corner. It's this magnifying glass icon up here. If I tap on it, I can search within the notebook. And like I said before, it doesn't have to be typed text. It can understand your handwriting. So if I type in the word going, it will see that I've written going as text with my Apple Pencil, and it's found it there. I think it's had some trouble understanding some of the stuff that I was writing beforehand, but that's not surprising because my handwriting is terrible. But even with my bad handwriting, it has managed to find quite a lot of the letters here. In the top left of the screen again, we have a share icon. And from here, I can choose to collaborate with other people. I can export this page, and I can export it as a PDF, as an image, or as a GoodNotes file. I can choose to print, and if I'm in presentation mode, I can present the entire screen or the full page, etc. There's just a few options at the bottom here. I'm now going to quit out of this particular notebook and go back to my main screen where I can view all of my notebooks on my folder. Now we're back on this screen, I'm going to tap on the plus icon and I'll show you how to do a QuickNote. You can either use this menu, or if you double tap on the plus icon, it'll bring up a QuickNote really quickly. And this is something that's really useful if you need to write something down but you don't have the time to open up a notebook and find the right page and etc. So this allows you to take a very quick note. And then if I tap on the top left arrow to go back, I can either discard it if I don't need it anymore, or I can save it. Now GoodNotes allows you to open up 2 notebooks at the same time, and there's 2 ways of doing this. So if I open up this notebook, which is what I had opened before, then I open up another notebook, you can now see I've got 2 tabs at the top. One is the notebook I was working on yesterday, so a bit of a test, and then I've got this notebook which I've been working on for this video. You can have 2 notebooks open on the screen at the same time by making use of split view. So I can open up a second instance of GoodNotes and put it on the right or the left hand side and look at 2 different notebooks. Now to do that, you need to get access to the iPad's equivalent of Finder. If you have a keyboard attached, you can hit Command and Spacebar to open this up. If you don't have a keyboard attached, you need to go to your home screen and swipe down on the home screen to bring this up. I'm going to type in GoodNotes, and then what I'm going to do is drag this application icon over to the right hand side, and now you can see I've got 2 instances of GoodNotes open at the same time, which is really useful for moving items from one screen to the other. Now whilst we're on the topic of split view, I want to show you one last thing, which is about a different way of importing images into GoodNotes. The original version was to tap this menu icon up here, but it is possible to just drag images inside. So I'm going to press Command and Spacebar to get up to Spotlight. I'm going to go to Safari. I'm just going to drag this to the right. So this is the GoodNotes website, and you can basically, with any website really, or most other apps, you can drag images from one to the other. So I'm going to take this image off the GoodNotes website, I click, hold and drag, and there you go, I've imported it into my notebook. So that's just another quick way of getting images into GoodNotes without having to download it first. So that's the end of this tutorial on GoodNotes 5 for the iPad. If you found this video useful, please like, comment and subscribe, and please check out my Patreon. My Patreon page has just recently launched with 3 membership tiers, giving you things like early access to new videos, exclusive content, downloadable templates and more. You'll find a link to it in the description below. That's it for this video. I'll be back soon with another tutorial.